hey, is Mario Lopez Mexican? But
Yep.
speaking of like Mexican, did you hear this about this TikTok story with Mario Lopez?
The guy from Save from the Bell, what was the name of the show?
Yeah, Saved by the Bell. Saved by the
Saved
Bell.
by the Bell. Yeah.
When I wake up in the morning, you know that one.
Yes, yes. That was a good show, man. It's like even I was in Mexico in that time, and yeah, they play it over there too. It's like, and I will watch it. Yeah, I like it.
Well, you know, Mario Lopez, he was like the gym
The,
bro.
the beef, yeah,
The
the gym
gym
bro.
bro. Back then they were called beefcakes, right? And back then, but now they're called gym bros. The gym bro, he was gym bro in the show, right? So that's kind of funny.
How
But
do you call it before? How they were called
they call
before?
him beefcake. I think that's what you were gonna
Beefcake.
say, no? Beefcake or beefhead. I don't know. They call
Yeah,
him
yeah,
different
yeah.
things, but the muscle head. But yeah, so I mean, he's growing his career like, you know, he's superstar now,
Sure.
right? Obviously, Mario Lopez, and I'm sure that show had a lot to do with it. But you know, he's on News and stuff like that, and he's kind of talk show host, lots of things. Well, recently he's been doing a lot of his social media stuff, and he's been
By
doing
himself?
food. He's got like his crew, you know.
Okay,
He's got
all right.
his own crew, like his family or his normal crew that he runs around with, and he's been doing like almost like food reviews. He just loves talking about food. And he's also saying, I got my cerveza, me and my homies over here enjoying this food. We got these tacos and they're really good. I like them with this chile, the salsa over here. You know, he's getting all like, you know, showing the best of our culture. That's what I
Sure.
like to see, right? The best of our culture. And there's some stitches or people kind of like, hey, is Mario Lopez Mexican? Like, why is he talking about Mexican
Okay.
food?
I mean, not only Mexican food, like people like Mexican food, but okay.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, that's hilarious. Do people not realize Mario Lopez is
brown?
Mexican? And he's like, he brown, you know, and but there's a, and so
And wait. And his name is Mario
Mario
Lopez.
Lopez, you know,
It's
that's
not like a Brian whatever Smith, right?
there's some pretty easy clues there to let you clue you in on this, right? But
Yeah.
I think because his persona, like in his when he's on TV, you know, he's like very proper. He doesn't have like he's not presenting the culture in a way that we might expect to see. You know, he's got his professional voice on, his business voice on, you know, for what he's doing, right? But there's some people, and so there's people that are stitching him in. They're like, okay, all right, for the white folks that don't know, and these are like both brown and black people that are doing these
Sure.
stitches income. They're saying, when we, being us minorities, when we go to work or are in a job interview or whatever, we put on this specific special voice, right? Because this is what's accepted within the culture here within the US. And so, but know that when we go back home and we're with our family and friends or people from our specific culture, we go back to talking how, you know, hey, we're going to drink some cervezas. What are we doing this weekend? We're going to have some tacos, you know, and it's a very different thing. And they call this thing called code switching, right?
Code
Have you heard about
switching.
code switching?
No, you just right now you just enlighten me. What is that? Why
So
code switching?
It's basically that. It's like for us, we kind of live in two different worlds almost in some ways. Not everybody, but some people can live in these two different worlds. And so when we go into work and we go into these professional places where people aren't expecting to see all the culture out on display, you put on your very special work, because without this, you can't advance. That's just the way it works. You have to be able to speak in a certain way, with a certain tone, with a certain cadence, to be able to be successful in, you know,
I
the
think
culture
that,
and the world that we've got. That's
yeah, I
that
think
code
that-
switch.
Okay, got it. And I think that I don't want to add any connotation. It's just is, right? I don't want to say it's bad or good, right? Because it's just is. And I'm trying to, based on what you're telling me, I think that has to do a lot of for how to communicate. And what I mean is like sometimes it's harder when you have different accents, right? I have an accent, obviously, but if I'm speaking too fast, it's harder, right, to understand me and any other accent. So I think that maybe that's kind of the nuance here, where in order to be able to communicate more effectively, right, with between others. But I can see why maybe it has also the bad connotation, like, well, these people might be like in slang or ghetto or whatever. But again, I don't want to go into that route, because a lot of this as well becomes part of culture and becomes part of coolness, right? Like
Yeah.
sometimes even the kids are using some uh, things that become part of the any other culture itself. Yeah, it's an
Yeah.
interesting thing, which is I completely see it happening where you have almost like a mask, right? One that you have like at work and another one uh, for your family and friends.
I think it's another form of gatekeeping, honestly. Like, I think what we've seen in a lot of big companies, a lot of big corporations, it looks very much the same across the
Yes,
board, right?
blend,
There's
blend.
right. I'll put it that way. So there is not that much diversity in a lot of cases. I'm not saying it's like that across the board. A lot of companies and businesses are making big strides in that regard with both minorities and women and female leadership. So that's really good. But I think it, in a way, it has been. I think it's becoming more obvious that that's a gatekeeping thing. So maybe it'll change in the future. But for now, there's this code switching that we've got to do whenever we're going into work and we're trying to be professional. And not a lot of that flavor makes it into the workplace that we can bring. So pretty interesting though. But it's so funny for Mario Lopez, because people are maybe used to seeing him like on the TV show, and he's
Yeah.
like a very specific character and way. But when they see him in social media, he's more laid back. He's more of his true self, and he's talking like, "Hey, Latinos, we're friendly. We like to drink, we like to eat, we enjoy fun, we enjoy food, we have fun." And so this is a very big contrast, and a lot of people are like, "He's Mexican." Like, when did that happen? Too
You know
funny, too funny.
and the issue is sometimes that then maybe he's too white in other words, right? So it's like, man, there is no right or wrong, right? Just let the man be, like because it also happened to me. Like, you're a white Texican now, Mando. Like, dude, I'm not. I'm just being Mando. I mean, it's just being me, right? I do have to behave in certain ways, right? Where we are, and that's what it is. I'm not trying to become anybody else. It's just I have to do sometimes what I need to do, right? But yeah, I think that sometimes even your own culture might reject you. Another cultures might reject you, right? For some of these facts, which my advice here is just be yourself, right? Kudos for Mario Lopez. Be yourself, and you do what you need to do. You do you, Mario Lopez.
That's right. No, I love it. I love it. So I hope he keeps doing showing us his true self on his social media. So it's pretty cool.